Shalom. First and foremost, call Allah Yin Wakabad, La Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai Bashim, Rawachakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, and as always, peace and blessings and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad. Now, I'm gonna say this before I actually get into the lesson. If you're starting to get tired of us constantly, delving into this particular prophecy of Revelation 13:16 on down, then I suggest you going ahead and unsubscribe. You no longer have to watch these videos. We do these lessons for edification and also for constant warning. Because we take our office, all right, our profession, we take it very seriously. The Lord said, "I've set watchmen upon thy walls." Let me get that real quick. So yeah, we're gonna sound like a broken record. All right, we're gonna constantly keep you updated on current things as it relates to prophecy. All right, Isaiah 62 in verse 6, and it says, "I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence." So we're not going to stop. We're not going to keep silence. All right. Basically, the Lord is in control. He has his spirit upon us. And it just so happened that, the spirit is upon us to constantly cover this particular subject. We've been doing it for years, and now we're starting to see that things are actually moving along. All right, as this devil, as it was prophesied that he would do these things that we're seeing him do, and it's all happening gradually. So we're not going to keep silence. We're going to keep mentioning. We're going to keep the warnings going out, even if Jake want to hear it or not. It says whether they hear or whether they forbear. It says, "And give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth." And that's going to happen in due time. All right. Because then you're going to know that the Lord had raised up prophets and sent them unto you. And when these things come to pass that we've been speaking on, then shall it be known that a prophet or prophets have been among them. So anyway, I want to go into this because remember, it was one of the previous lessons that I did touching on this subject. Well, I first covered um, the new palm by hand payment method system that they setting up at Whole Foods. One of the Whole Foods over in Austin, Texas. They're now rolling out that system. And I also mentioned in that same lesson how you got the European Union countries that are now rolling out this digital identity system. All right, several European Union countries, where now they're making it available for all citizens within those regions. And you can thank Ukraine for setting the precedent. If you wonder why so much emphasis and so much focus is on Ukraine, and how they're pushing them in the media for people to stand behind them, to sympathize with them, and your government is constantly sending aid and funding that particular regime, is because there's an operation being done there. There's something that's being rolled out over in Ukraine. All right, and if you didn't know, go look up the DIA. All right, they launched the DIA, which is basically a app for the Ukrainian citizens to use digital documentation through their smartphones. All right, and this Ukraine-Russia conflict was used as the Trojan horse, the catalyst for them to actually bring forth this new system. Remember, order out of chaos. All right. That's why we always quote 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And the ultimate plan is to make that transition to get everybody on this new digital global system of control. That's why everything is going digital, including all of the world currencies. All right. So what I have here, this is a video by the Prophecy Club. All right, this Edomite here, which we don't judge by the outer layer. He could be an Edomite because he has the appearance of one, but he might not be. All right, it's all according to the spirit. But one thing's for sure is that whether he's an Edomite or not, he understands, all right, what this is and what the agenda is. Now, a lot of these Edomites, they're informed. They don't know everything, but they are informed. The scriptures talk about them being wiser than Daniel. All right. So I'm gonna play this clip, and Lord willing, they don't try to clip me for actually going into this, because it's interesting how certain platforms can speak on certain things that's controversial and very sensitive to the algorithm, and they video get to stay up. They don't get bothered. They don't get those guideline strikes. But the moment we cover it, strike. So that lets us know that we're particularly being targeted because we have the truth. All right. So without further ado, I'm gonna play this, and then we'll definitely hit some scriptures. Matter of fact, before I even do it, let me get another scripture. This is starting to be a scripture that I'm starting to quote more often. And this is in Ezekiel 12 and 22 to 23, because it can no longer be said, well, these prophecies, especially in the book of Revelation, it being the last book of prophecies in the Bible. People always like to put it off as if it's something in the future and not what we're actually experiencing now. But the Lord had already declared the end from the beginning, and those things that John the Revelator saw in his vision on the Isle of Patmos, you know, he saw into this time, the time that we're living into now, where he saw this beast spring up with power, that deadly wound being healed, coming back into power and becoming that dominant hegemon over the world. I said it was great authority was given unto this beast, and it was a certain appointed time for the beast to rule and have dominion. And now you're seeing them. They have technology that have people damn near worshiping. Well, really, they are, okay, because he set forth that image, and he was able to give life unto it. And that this technology and his science is what gives life to the image of his beast. All right. So John saw these things. He saw the contactless method of payments in his new technology. He saw that. He saw people scanning their hand, getting a forehead scanned. All this that we see now, the robots, he seen it all, man. But he had to use similitude because he didn't understand what those things were. These things didn't exist 2,000 years ago. So now the vision is now speaking. Is Ezekiel 12 and 22 and 23. It says, "Son of man, what is that? What is that proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision." All right, and we're in that time, man. All right, like it says in Habakkuk 2 and 3, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So let me read this same two verses in the NLT translation. It says, Son of man, you've heard the proverb they quote in Israel. Time passes and prophecies come to nothing. Tell the people this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will put an end to this proverb and you will soon stop quoting it. Now give them this new proverb to replace the old one. The time has come for every prophecy to be fulfilled. All right. And the wise are going to be preoccupied in the prophecies. This is how we measure the times of the end. So let's get into it, and I'm gonna play this clip, and he's gonna go in on this European digital identity system.
We'll start with this comes to us from the European Commission, and it's on European digital identity. The European digital identity will be available to EU citizens, residents, and businesses who want we want to identify ourselves. Right. We can't wait to take that mark of the beast, right? But again, that's the attitude they're taking.
And hey, he's he didn't even waste no time with it. He already know what this is going into. All right, and him using that terminology, like I said, every time we say that whole word, it triggers the YouTube algorithm to want to attack the page. But these other platforms, they can say what they say, and there's no problem. But we'll see, though. Let's keep going.
Who want to identify themselves. Well, how about those that want to stay anonymous? Well, no, that's not an option. Who want to identify themselves or provide.
Yeah, and that's the point is, with everything going digital, the purpose is to take away all anonymity. Everything has to be identified. Just like when on a prison yard, there's a reason why everything is closed in, by walls. You got the watchtowers where the guards, stand guard and watch over the prisoners. And you know, they gotta basically keep everything enclosed because they gotta know each and every prisoner where, their whereabout, where they're at. They all have a cell number assigned to them. They have a block, and it's to keep surveillance, to keep, you know, everything traced. So you're not getting away. You're not gonna escape from under the eyes of this devil. Because this devil wants to be like the Most High. We know that the scriptures say the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the good and the evil. But Esau, he wants to mimic the abilities and power of the Most High. So he wants to be all sin. He wants to be omniscient. And that's the type of control that he wants. All right. So anyway, let's keep going. So pretty soon, all these different social media platforms, you're gonna have to be on that grid. You're gonna have to be a part of the system to be able to continue to have access to it. All right. That's what I believe. That's why I believe that Elon Musk is buying Twitter, because people are getting happy that they think that he's buying it so that he can restore the freedom of speech. And then you got all of these bugged out um progressives and these leftists having meltdowns because they think that, oh, so that means that you know hate speech is gonna increase. People are gonna you know basically that whole rhetoric between the left and the right, which is all propaganda. It's all smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. That he's buying Twitter because they're gonna regulate. He's with the whole concept of a technocracy ruling over the world. This is why they're putting their money where their mouth is, making these billion-dollar investments. The more they spend, the more they invest, the more power and control. All right. So you're gonna have, in order for you to have access to Twitter and these different social media outlets, you might have to go through a digital identification to do it. That's probably where how they're gonna set it up. You're not gonna be able to remain unanimous. All right, there's no more anonymity, man. No more. You're not gonna be anonymous. All your information about you, they're gonna have to have in order for you to gain access. And this is all going in line with that social credit system. That's all going to be a part of it. All right. So anyway, let's keep going.
Provide confirmation of certain personal information. How about avoid giving personal information to anybody out there, especially New World Order, especially government, okay? Provide confirmation of certain personal information. It can be used for both online and offline public and private services across the EU. See, that's right. So he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on the right hand and the forehead. That's where it's going.
See, hey, Dow has said. All right, I don't even got to go to the prophecy. He already then quoted it. You already know. But you still got dumb dogs who cannot bark, loving to slumber. All right, that's totally blind. Whether they're blinded because the Lord just blinded them and the Lord deceived them, or whether they took the bag and are acting like they're blind, acting like they can't see the elephant in the room. But we're gonna see, man. All right, a lot of you dudes, man, you just pay attention. All right, because you're gonna have a lot of blood on your hands.
Every EU citizen and resident in the Union will be able, you'll be blessed, will be able to use a personal digital wallet. You know, this is straight out of Revelation 13. Every time an app or website asks to create a new digital identity, in other words, every time you sign up for an app out there, this is what's really happening, or to easily log on via a big program, we have no idea what happens to our data in reality. Oh, yes, we do. It's used, it's used by Big Brother and the Moloch and Baal worshippers. Yes, we do. We do know. That is why the Commission will propose a secure European e-identity. That's right. It's going to be secure, like your emails and like your telephone calls and like everything you do. Not. It's all tracked and monitored. They think we're stupid. And sad to say, most uninformed people that haven't read Revelation 13 are stupid. Hate to say, but
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are ignorant to the fact, because either they don't read or they do read it, but the spirit isn't on them. The Lord didn't open their eyes to it. You got guys who profess to be scholars of the Bible, guys that are even prophets, but when they read these prophecies, it's like they're stuck on stupid. Let me get to Isaiah 29 real quick. Now, the scriptures tell us, in the Apocrypha, be not ignorant, not in a small matter nor a great. And we know that MOTB, that's a great matter, man. That's a matter of everlasting life and and a second death. Isaiah 29 and verse 10, it says, "For the Lord have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep," and that's why you can't see it. All right, a lot of Jakes that can't see it, a lot of Jake got different explanations for what they think is the MOTB. And when you just line them all up, none of it makes sense. Jake will tell you, oh, it's sin. They'll tell you it's an embargo. They'll tell you it's Christianity, it's a religion, it's a thought process, it's philosophies, it's everything under the sun. And none of it makes sense when you actually read the prophecy in this context and look into the meaning of it, of the words that's being used. You got to go into the Greek, and that's when you'll get the deeper understanding, which is really not that deep at all. It's really simple. But this is what happened to a lot of these people out there that's confused. Some people say it's Sunday worship, all type of madness. Well, that's because the Lord got them in the spirit of deep sleep. It says, and have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, all these fake phony prophets out there, these uh pastors, pulpit pimps. None of them can really tell you the truth. But we know the Lord is dealing with his servants, the prophets. That's who he revealed his secrets to. And that's why they constantly delve into these prophecies. Because somebody has the truth out there. The Lord said, I will give you pastors according to my heart that will feed you with knowledge and wisdom. So it's out there. But if your eyes is closed, you're not going to get it. It says, the prophets and your rulers, the seers, have he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. Like they try to go into the book of Revelation, and they really don't understand what they're reading. They end up breaking it down totally wrong. It's because they don't have the light. It says, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the Lord God is sealed among the false prophets and those who is not meant to receive it. But his servants, the prophets, and his chosen, they have obtained it. All right. To the law and to the testimony, to the prophecies, if they speak not according to these words, because there is no light in them. So let's go back and let's listen to some more, because we see exactly where it's going. And like I said, John the Revelator, he saw this technology in the vision. He saw it happening. All right. And everything about you is going to be stored in a digital database record system. It's going to be stored in the records, man. And even looking into the word charagma for Mark and going into the root words, that's how you'll understand that this all coincides together. You're gonna receive this imprint, this implant, and within that implant is gonna be your record. As a matter of fact, let me continue to play it because I think he's gonna go into it, and then we'll actually go into that word.
It's willingly ignorant. This is why the Commission will propose a secure European identity. Oh my goodness, they're just helping us so much. One that we can trust, that any citizen can use anywhere in Europe to do anything from paying taxes. Notice how it has to do with money, okay? With paying, just like your Social Security card was never supposed to be used for identification. Yeah, right, okay? From paying your taxes to renting a.
And this is all a form of slavery. All right, this is all slavery, man. All right, I mean, and this is a slave system. All right, because a slave has no freedom. That means that you don't have the right to privacy. You have no right to be sovereign. You got to be under the confines of policies and rules and regulations. That's a slave, man. And now, they can withdraw any access to any services if you don't comply with it. That's straight up captivity, man. But let's continue.
Bicycle costeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. Okay, so it has to do with our finances, right? And no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. A technology where we can control ourselves, what data is being used and how. Yeah, that's right. You can.
Yeah, you see how crafty they are with their words. A technology where we can control ourselves what data is used and how. You- Stop it. No, you're the one that's in control. All right. And the scriptures say that the world it lies in wickedness. That's because it's under the control of the wicked. Let's get 1 John 5:19. 1 John 5:19, it says, and we know that we are of the Most High, and that's why we're serving the Lord. That's why we're not going to give to this beast. We're not going to bow to his system, because we know that we're of the Most High, man. And him is who we're going to put our trust in, not this devil. And the whole world live in wickedness because it's under the control of the wicked. Let's read that in the NLT. And it says, we know that we are the children of the Most High, and that the world around us is under the control of the evil one. And he's in total control, man. He's ruling. And that's why the earth is mourning. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And a lot of people, certain people that's open to this information, they not with it. So that's why there's going to be major resistance. There's going to be sedition, like the prophecy says, 2nd Ezra 15th chapter. You're going to see a lot of Edomites revolting against it. Jake, they gonna be all with it, man. So the hell with them. We're only concerned with a remnant, because the rest of our people, they're under strong delusion, because they've been charmed by the serpent, by the beast, infatuated with his technology. But let's continue.
I'm sorry. It's sad that so many people believe this. They believe this. They just like the anti-V. Oh, it's going to keep you safe from getting the V. If you take the anti-V, then you won't get the V. I just came from a doctor's office. Got a problem with my foot.
Yeah, these people they're under strong delusion that they should believe in a lie. Because they've been taken, by this devil's abilities, to be able to, you know, wage psychological warfare, mind manipulation, mind control. They say even he who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So these people are under his enchantments. So yeah, they're in a ball of confusion. They're under strong delusion. All right.
Got a bunion. Okay. So he says he had the anti-V, and then after the anti-V, he got the V. Let's go on. The European digital identity can be used for any number of cases. For example, public services such as requesting birth certificates. Okay, that tells you that your birth certificate is going to be tied into it. Medical certificates, that tells you that they're going to be monitoring everything you do with your health.
And that's your slave document. And we all get them. As soon as we're born into this world, that's what we're given. We're given a birth certificate and a social security number, because you're property of this private corporation owned by the elite. So now it's going to be translated into digital form. See, this is why we constantly haste for the Lord to come back, man, to come back and break us out of this prison. All right. And it was that Isaiah 51 where it talks about the uh the captive exile hasted to be loose. And that's us, man. Because we see where this is heading, man. We already went through enough, but here this devil with more. Yeah, Isaiah 51:14, it says, the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, in the system where he's trying to, trap us. He's setting that trap, man. He's laying these snares, nor that his bread should fail. You see? So, we hasted to be taken out of this devil's, grip, so to speak. So, hey, we're that's why we're hastening the coming of the day of the Lord. And that's when we're going to be redeemed out of this devil's hand, because he's trying to put us clearly back in the slavery. I mean, we already slaves, but you see what it is, man. Because this devil, he's going to expect a certain way of living from you. So you seeing it, he's bringing it out, man. Pay attention.
And if you don't have it, guess what? You don't get to see a doctor. You don't get into a hospital. You don't get emergency. Forget it. The ambulance is not going to come. Medical certificates, reporting a change of address. That means if you move, they're going to track you every place. Opening a bank account. There it is. Money again, tied to money. Filing tax returns. That's tied to filing your tax returns. You know, it's sad. It's sad. So many people believe this. It, it's sad. Applying for a university at home or in another member state, storing medical prescription information. They know everything about you. It's going to be a way to track tie everything together. Just like, have you ever had something come up that says, would you like to sync this with your cell phone? Or would you like to sync this with your desktop? Would you like to sync this with Facebook and have it all together? That's what they're trying to. I mean, the real point of Facebook is to find out everything about you, your family, and your friends. Surely you realize that, right, Kay? You might know.
Yep. And there was a platform set up by the CIA, for that very purpose, to get all your information. And people live on those social media platforms. You know, they give every bit of detail about their life and what they're doing and their occupation and their every whereabouts. Constantly updating, putting selfies up. So they just leave their whole life open. You know, it was years ago when the apostles told us to get the hell up off of there. You know what I'm saying? And that was the reason why these people voluntarily, give up their whole information. But given the technology that he has now, you can't escape it. You know, he's tracking and tracing you regardless. So we just got to get the hell up out of here, man. But let's finish this out, and then we'll close out with a couple more scriptures. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to go into the word charagma, because you see all this information that they're gonna have connected, to this digital identity. It's all gonna be there. So if they're rolling this out in the belly of the beast over in Europe, you better be sure that shit's coming right over here to Babylon.
Notice I'm not on Facebook. Okay. Applying for a university at home or another member state, storing a medical prescription, proving your age, renting a car, using a digital driving license, checking into a hotel. In other words, you don't have this, you don't buy or sell, you don't do anything. That's where it's going.
There it is. And then of course, you know, this is mainstream. The wallet more, now it's mainstream. So you cannot deny this, man. You can no longer be in denial unless you pay it off and you're refusing to see it, but you do see it, or the Lord really chose your delusion. He really blinded you. It's right there in your face, man. All right. So let's go to the prophecy. You already quoted it, but I just want to go into the word now. Let's get the understanding. So for the word mark, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. All right, this is an activity. This is a transaction. This is basically a service. You will not have access to this service save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now let's look up Mark. and it serves to be as a badge, an identity, a brand, and that's something that a master does with his slaves. He brands you. All right. So this is not a. It's not talking about a mindset. Certain Israelite dudes try to get all deep, philosophical, and end up failing. So you see the definitions: a stamp and printed mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead and right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah system. The mark branded upon horses. And I think in Japan they're making it mandatory to microchip their pets. So we already know, where this is headed. It says a scratch, so something physical done to your skin, or etching, i.e., stamp as a badge of servitude. And once you voluntarily receive this, now it's a badge showing that who you serve. You serve the beast. All right. It says a sculptured figure, statue, graven, mark, and graven means to cut. All right. And then let's go to the root words. The word karax, a pale, a stake, a palisade. Basically a sharp pointing instrument that you put into the ground and use as a fort. Like a military in investment, a rampart, circumvallation. So basically, it's just giving you an idea of it's going to be a certain sharp pointed utensil that's going to be used to make that imprint. We know it as the syringe. All right, going to make
Strong's G
that puncture.
5482, Charax. Charax.
Charax. All right. Now let's go to the root word of that, and the word is grapho. It goes immediately to grapho, and it says to write with reference to the form of the letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material, to write with references to the contents of the writing, to express in written characters. Um, Down here it says to write to one, i.e., by writing, to give information. All right, direction. So this mark is going to lead to having something that's written in the database. It's going to have all the information. It says I skipped over this. It says to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. And Esau ain't going to have to really write nothing down. Dealing with paperwork, that's done. That's the old way. This is the new way now. The technology going digital. So it's going to be stored information. You ain't got to write nothing down. It's already in the records, on the grid, on the cloud. So it's all tied together, man. So if you can't see this at this point, then the Lord, he blinded your eyes that you can't see it. Even Esau himself can see it. So that's a shame that you other dudes can't see it. But hey, the Lord, he does what he wants. So, this is hey, so there's no excuses. So let me end off, and let me get Revelation 3 and verse 10, because if they setting this out and they're gonna have it to where you're gonna be given no choice, Well, that's where the temptation is going to come in. Revelation 3 verse 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, and you hearken unto this word, you hearken to the prophecies, you believe everything that's said in it, and you held it fast unto the end. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And we're gonna go through that fire, we're gonna be tried, and then it's gonna be known who the Lord's chosen is, man. Look up that word try. So we all gonna be tried. And the word is parazo in the Greek, and it says, I'm gonna read this one. It says, to try, make trial of, test for the purpose of ascertaining his quality, or what he thinks, or how he will behave himself. Right? The Lord's gonna, watching the cut from the spiritual realm and see how you're gonna behave yourself when his moment comes. In a good sense and a bad sense, to test one maliciously, craftily, to put to the proof his feelings or judgments, to try or test one's faith, virtue, character by enticement to sin. All right, that's what's going to be tested, your faith and your virtue and your character. You're going to remain steadfast, to solicit, to sin, to tempt of the temptations of the devil. We know it's going to be the beast, because he's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right. It says, after the OT, usage of the Most High to inflict evils upon one in order to prove his character and the steadfastness of his faith. All right. So yeah, and we reset was that Sirach's second chapter. It goes into dealing with temptation. When prepare that when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right. Set your heart aright and constantly endure, and make no haste in the time of trouble, because we're going to be tried in the furnace of affliction, the furnace of adversity. So that's pretty much the lesson. I just want to go into this, and this channel is the Prophecy Club, and that's what we supposed to really be focused on, man. Prophecy. So Lord willing, you brothers and you few sisters were edified. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rachakwadash, the abundance to the elder apostles who rule of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.